the Madman! Welcome to another set of Rise of Shadows cards. This one features one of my favorite cards I've seen so far. In fact, why don't we skip the usual order and jump right into the Paladin card. Nozari! 10 mana, 4/12. Dragon! Battlecry, restore both heroes to full health. Incredible value. It's like the old Tree of Life card. For a mere +1 mana, you get a full 4/12 with it. Wow. Now yes, everyone's gonna say, what, Tree of Life never saw play? And yes, you would be right. But dragon also means that Paladin has a nice big dragon to hold, and while it's sitting in your hand, it's still useful in activating your other dragon synergy. Restoring the opponent's hero to full health, it doesn't even matter. And that's not all. Suppose it is a control versus control meta, a value versus value meta. Well, that's where Etheral comes in. You play your Etheral, casually transform 29 of your health to armor, and then you play Nozari the next turn. You gain 29. You're gonna be out of range of a lot of combos. Wow. Some people might ask, what is the win condition of Control Paladin? Where is the value? Well, hopefully it's coming up in an upcoming card. If not, then you have the inevitability of a silver hand recruit every single time. Eventually that's gonna get them, right? So many of the cards revealed so far, I would classify as value cards. So getting to turn 10 should not be hard. So since the game's length has moved to like turn 10 being kind of standard, possibly, Nozari actually comes out just in time. It's not too slow against aggro if aggro doesn't necessarily exist. If we don't see any aggro support being printed this set, sure, just wait till turn 10. That'll work. And let's show the other Paladin card here. Duel, 5 mana, summon a minion from each player's deck they fight. This is a safety valve card against combo with all of these value cards being printed. It sure would be a shame if a combo deck existed and just ate every single value card, right? So Duel is a symmetric effect, which you'll want to build your deck around just playing some really big minions in your deck, and then you fight! Woo! This is like the ultimate safety valve against Mecha'thun, I should say. Like, if Mecha'thun somehow takes over, then maybe you start to play some Duel, but perhaps, more importantly, you play the other tech card, which is way better. I think Duel is too fringe, but nice to have a safety valve, I guess, for it. Did it really have to cost 5 mana, though, for this symmetric effect? So we foreshadowed too much to not show this card next. Unseen Saboteur, 6 mana, 5/6. Battlecry, your opponent casts a random spell from their hand. Targets chosen randomly. There have been quite a number of mess with your opponent cards so far, but I would say Unseen Saboteur is the first good one that I've seen that will actually be effective against combo decks. For a anti-combo card, for a card mostly used for the utility, the stat line is not that bad. If we didn't have these anti-combo cards printed, the combo decks would still be able to crush these value decks, and I'd be thinking something like Boom Ship, Warrior, which pulls out Mecha'thun and Malagos. Yeah, that combo looks a little bit bad, but it's just gonna crush us all still, because things will be so slow, as I'm gushing over Nozari. But Unseen Saboteur, that's the safety valve. If you get any of their Boom Ship or Whirlwind or Inner Rages, they can't actually pull off the Mecha'thun combo. A lot of friendly fire could be caused here as well. Sometimes you cast it, and boy is it bad if your opponent casts Myra's Unstable Element when they're not prepared to cast Myra's Unstable Element. Unseen Saboteur, if you're even being optimistic, could be seen as Battlecry. Draw a card because you're making your opponent discard a card, and that card is sometimes going to be used to not great effect because the targets are chosen randomly. So if they have a single target spell, it's basically as if they discarded that card. This is the tech card that I anticipate we'll see play, perhaps even preemptively, just to make sure the combo decks don't crush your value deck. And the downside is low enough that I could see several control versus control mirrors like have Unseen Saboteurs just played to somehow bait out the opponent's clear sometimes. So you know that this is going to be a value meta when Hunter gets a card like Mark Shot. 4 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion, discover a spell. So even hunters are joining in this value bandwagon. It's the replacement for flanking strike. Yes, flanking strike is better, but hey, we can't give hunters flanking strike again. If discover a spell is weighted at about the same as draw a card, which is weighted at about 1.5 mana, then this card is a buff on Shadow Bolt. The main problem is Hunter a value class? Is the value card right in Hunter? Gee, I don't know, but if there is a value Hunter deck, then Marked Shot might see play there. Wing Blast is more of the tempo answer, and Baited Arrow is also kind of similarly slow. Will you run all three of them in some sort of spell damage focused Hunter deck with that Hunter Legendary? Maybe? For Priest, we have Shadowy Figure, 2 mana 2/2. Battlecry, transform into a 2/2 copy of a friendly Death Rattle minion. You want to have a big Death Rattle on the board, and then you play Shadowy Figure, and then for 2 mana, you get that huge Death Rattle effect again. With Twilight's Call out of the picture as well with the rotation, Death Rattle seems to be a lot less effective. And the quest is gone, and the Death Rattle synergy is gone, but the Shadowy Figure is going to be a figure we're going to want to keep an eye out for. Maybe not in this expansion without enough Death Rattles, but in future expansions, this could be a playa. Katrina Muerte. Had to look up where Katrina Muerte fits in from the World of Warcraft lore, and turns out that she is a NPC that only shows up during the Day of the Dead event. Really fringe NPC to show up as legendary. 8 mana, 6/8. At the end of your turn, summon a friendly minion that died this game. Same exact stats and mana cost as Kel'Thuzad, similar effect of resurrecting minions, but way better than Kel'Thuzad in the sense that if you just play her on an empty board, you resurrect stuff. I would say overall that is a buff on Kel'Thuzad, and really terrifying is if you had Katrina Muerte die and then you resurrect Katrina Muerte with maybe, who knows, the card that's one higher than her and also resurrects, mass resurrect, then your Katrina Muerte can pull out more Katrina Muertes. By the way, if multiple Katrina Muerte were to die, then you could mass resurrect multiple Katrina Muerte, which would then pull out multiple Katrina Muerte. I like it. For Resurrect Priest, this is the earliest that you can resurrect something currently, on turn 8, followed by turn 9 mass resurrection. So it seems like you're not going to be cheating out cards with the resurrect mechanic anymore, but you're actually going to be resurrecting for value in the late game. And I can see how that can work for a value-oriented late-game priest. And enjoy, Wild, as you Barnes out Katrina Muerte on turn 4 and then resurrect Katrina Muerte, who will pull out another Katrina Muerte. Good luck with that, Wild. And finally we have Batterhead, 8 mana, 3/12 Rush. After this attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again. So the Optimist will look at this card and be like, huh, that's an 8 mana, 3 damage AoE, kind of. Plus, you're left with still a minion. That's pretty scary. The Pessimist will be like, oh wow, 8 mana, 15 stats, blah. It's only got 3 attack on the rush, so that's not even that strong. And you might compare this with Walking Fountain as well, which can already attack multiple times as well, too, and then gains you 8 health immediately, unlike Batterhead, who does nothing. Just kills minions, if you can consider 3 attack to be killing anything worth killing on turn 8. So that seems too slow. Where Batterhead may see its place would be in the Rush package of Warrior, where you exactly Akali into Batterhead. Like, that's where Batterhead gets really good. When it gets +5/+5 and is an 8/17, and then maybe you play Spirit of the Rhino, and then you play a Batterhead, and then you clear their entire board while you are left with an 8/17. That dream is pretty good, but for the rest of practicality, I would say just play Shaman, lol, if you're considering running Batterhead. So there's the cards of the day. There's going to continue to be a rapid pace of cards revealed even during the weekend. So look forward to still more cards reviewed every day.